Too Many Losing Heroines is the anime everyone's been sleeping on, what with its immaculate production, expressive characters, and top-tier writing about a dude who functionally becomes the rebound guy for a bunch of girls because their riz is the equivalent of. The anime starts with Nukumizu, our main character, witnessing best girl, Anna, encourage her childhood friend to go after the exchange student he so clearly loves in a scene right out of a proper romance anime. Except this isn't that kind of show, so we immediately get to watch Anna force an indirect kiss with his drink, consume more calories than Sam Sulik, and be an all-around relatable dork. Anna then ultimately weasels her way into Nukumizu's table, food, and wallet, in that exact order, and regales him with her touching tale of rejection, that basically the other guy promised to marry her when they were 5, yet he chose her other British friend instead, so of course that makes said Brit a soggy home-wrecking cow. If that didn't make it clear enough, Anna is not only a loser, but the writing, direction, animation, and basically every facet of the show goes out of its way to hilariously show you exactly why that is and to what extent, illustrating perfectly all the while why the childhood friend never wins as she stumbles through the entire rest of the series as a walking meme.
I'm about to make a name for myself, yeah.
But that's where the series shines, by crafting likable and relatable characters to the point that every scene showing their adorable friendships is infectious, with even the main character coming off less like your traditional romance protagonist and more of one who shares the same general theme as the girls who latch on to him. As we watch this same guy monologue about being extremely meticulous in his choice of water fountain, down to narrowing his choices to specific ones at specific times, just to amusingly demonstrate that, no, he doesn't have a penchant for Prime H2O, because there's a better source for that. He's just a huge loser with no friends, to the point where he'll even stare at a wall just to avoid talking to people. Unlike CR929, who subscribed over on my Patreon because they're simply
Better! I am better!
No character is exempt from being put on blast, and that's exactly why they're all so entertaining to watch, as they vibe together and play off one another so naturally that it feels less like a romance or harem anime, and more like a story of growth and maturity through the pangs of life, insisted upon by the teachers who advocate for sex. But that's the best part about the series, that it's able to have the cast be a bunch of goobers alongside serious and well thought out drama, diving deeper into these characters' depths even after their arcs have already ended while never feeling out of place, connecting them with the audience simply by treating them as real people with relatable thoughts and fears, such as Lemon attempting to let go of her crush and just be friends, but ultimately being unable to come to terms with rejection and instead opting to go the more mature route of befriending her crush's girlfriend to have him become the cuck. Likewise, there are also characters like Komari who's afraid of losing the two people she values the most, something I can personally relate to, as rather than being stuck on being rejected like Lemon, she's instead stuck on protecting the place that brought her solace in her time of loneliness, believing that everyone will ultimately just leave her anyway, just like her two friends, so she needs to do everything for her club, her special place, herself, so that she can never get hurt again, only to realize that her friends, new and old, truly do care about her and that, while saying goodbye hurts, it doesn't have to be the end. A message and thought process that many people can relate and connect to, portrayed excellently through both the writing and visuals as something truly beautiful. Additionally, even when not the main focus, the anime still sneaks in development for characters who have already had their time in the spotlight. Specifically for Anna, who goes from naturally rejecting anything she perceives as an advance from Nukumizu, because she's never truly been on the receiving end of affection and thus feels pushing him away will help her avoid getting hurt again, to subtly doing so less and less as the episodes progress and as she spends more time with Nukumizu, instead beginning to say things like, it's too early, but no longer outwardly saying no. And the same is true for Nukumizu, as while the lion's share of the development goes to the girls, he's still someone that we can both relate to and watch grow from his mistakes throughout the series. Something that shocked me personally, as I never thought they'd include a way for his own social awkwardness to rear its head when attempting to help, specifically in the scene where he tries to tell Komari that he'll take over presidential duties for the club, so as to remove the burden from her shoulders and show that he's got her back, but he doesn't quite think about what he's saying or how he's saying it until after the fact, and winds up inadvertently hurting her instead. So now, of course, I must fight him. You're able to watch as he casually goes from a side character who wants nothing to do with main character shenanigans to purposefully thrusting himself into the role to support his newfound friends, even if it's outside his comfort zone, which is simply a result of the writing consistently delivering on its premise of telling a story about some loser teenagers who get lost in the fleetingness of youth, with the production of the anime facilitating these things through both its beauty and how it gives purpose to every single little thing, like Anna with food. The extremely detailed backgrounds that almost feel lifelike with their small, intricate details, such as shoes and other such items strewn about to show the students' lackadaisical attitudes, help the environments feel real and lived in, denoting that the characters exist within these spaces and impact their surroundings, adding together so many small things into something bigger, and thereby assisting the anime in telling a visual story about the characters and settings without ever needing to waste any exposition on it.
Fat.
And the character design and animation is likewise just as stellar, with background characters hotter than some anime's entire casts, alongside exuberant character acting that's tailored to each individual's personality, portrayed through the animation to illustrate the vibrancy of youth, specifically through the pure amount of detail put into the movement of the characters, their crinkling fabrics, the changing of their expressions, and even the fucking tummy folds! This amount of effort put into every department is so rare and refreshing that it's no stretch to say the anime is a passion project for the staff working on it over at A1 Pictures, as it's already amplified the source material into the stratosphere while still maintaining its innate charm, making its cast of goofballs feel real and alive, with the icing on the cake being how well the directing ties it all together with both its excellent comedic timing, nailing the jokes even better than dedicated comedy shows,
Motherfucker, pull up! You ain't gonna do shit! Fuck up!
and the simultaneous balance it finds for its serious scenes, where some episodes are an absolute roller coaster of emotions where you're both busting a gut and suffering from heartache over what the characters are going through. From the way it portrays its characters, it's clear as day that it takes heavy inspiration from The Dangers in My Heart, and while I personally feel the anime would be at its best were it to focus on less characters like in that show, or if each character was given one episode arcs like in the first 4 episodes, as opposed to multi-episode arcs as seen in episode 5 onward, it wouldn't change that it's still a good show. Yes, some heroines tend to get sidelined when it's not their arc, namely Lemon, whose arc then feels like it drags a bit as a result, but the overall presentation of the writing and visuals remains strong, to the point where there's even more visual creativity that I could highlight, like in the very meta and jubilant opening where the characters play around with the credits. But the absolute best part about this show is that if you stripped it down to the most bare bones animation you've ever seen, it'd still be fantastic. It doesn't play itself too seriously and engage in melodrama that needlessly draws out issues to pad the runtime, nor does it up the comedy so much that you no longer take the characters seriously when it matters the most, giving the right scenes the gravitas they deserve to make everything mesh together so well, while the writing knocks it out of the park for every individual character and their respective growth throughout the series, making for an extremely mature show with so much emotion that it shines through in every episode, creating a series that will not only stand the test of time, but also become the most standout anime this season.